farm manager Andy Crowe shoots pigeons as if his life depends on it. These high-flying crop chompers do a lot of damage at all times of the year, and that has an impact on Andy's bottom line. So he spent most of his life trying to keep them off his fields. Today, Andy has built 2 hides on a field of oilseed rape, one for him, the other for his wingman, cousin Gary. They work as a team because 4 eyes are better than 2.
Coming from the corner, 2 of them.
When we arrive, they've been shooting for about an hour and already have 30 birds in the bag. The hides are not tucked into the woodland margin, but sit about 25 metres out to give them a 360-degree view.
Yeah, I like it. You get up against the hedge, you got no, like that when I shot that as that was coming up the hedge behind, or over the shore behind me. So
yeah,
if you've been underneath the shore, you wouldn't have been able to shot it because you was underneath the oak tree. So
you try and give yourself a maximum amount of coverage.
Yeah. This time of year, these are semi-permanent. These have been here a couple of 3 days, so they got used to these. In front, Bush.
He studies the flight lines as he farms the land and is hoping for a decent day. But the conditions are far from ideal, with a low, bright sun and very little wind. So they're not decoying really hard today, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Is there any reason for that?
I've still got a fair bit of the day left, so
right.
Hopefully they're going to come on to feed a bit better later on. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
We've still got another 4 or 5 hours really of daylight, so.
It's very very light breezes today. Does that?
Yeah.
You say sometimes that can keep them a bit higher.
Yeah, they're not. They can hear the shots and they tend to keep that much higher. If it was a bit more breeze like the other day when you were here, they tend to come down, keep a bit lower. They can't hear the shots. Things this time of year, they've got so much to feed on with the clover and buttercup, and the buds are just starting to move, so they're just starting to get on those. So.
And plus, people are starting to drill as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of spring drilling about. So they're moving on to that a bit now. So they've got so much to choose from.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So you've got guns elsewhere on the farm today as well to try and keep them
moving.
moving.
Over top of your head. Yeah, I've got another gun on a bit of rope, which we got just down the road. There's a gun on that. He's not doing as well as us. He's had any shots at all. So yeah, I've got a few bangers out as well, but just to try and keep them moving. But a day like this, they sit in the trees in the sun for a while, and they will come out to feed. Well, that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, they have been coming here, so all we can do is just sit it out.
Yeah. You say sit, but you never sit down, do you, when you're pigeon shooting?
I'll sometimes do if it's a long day, but when they're coming from all ways. But when you've got a wind and they're coming from the same direction, I do use the seat a bit, but when they're not, they're coming from all ways, I stand up all the time. Just pay for it the next day.
Andy has built up quite a reputation as an ace pigeon shooter, especially after he was featured in Sporting Shooter last year with an awesome bag. It was quite a day.
Biggest ever bag was with James when we shot 477, that's my best bag.
477?
Yeah.
How many shells?
That was 526.
526 shells?
Yeah, that was a good day, really good day. They were feeding on some drillings all round, and it was a soybean.
Oh right.
Yeah, it was soybean. This chap was just growing them for a trial, and they were feeding on it, and there was quite a lot there, and they were still in the their pods. And when they went through, they just direct drilled it. They didn't cultivate it or anything; just slot seeded it. And when they slot seeded it, just knocked all these soybeans out, and stopped up. And the ground was just littered with soybeans. There was about 1,500 plus pigeons there. They'd been there they were feeding on the field before they cut it.
Yeah.
But there'd been a few there, no big numbers. But as they were drilling fields all round, they've just pushed the pigeons all to this one field. And then when he drilled this one, they were out there. hammering into that.
So just everything kind of came right for you?
Yeah, it did. The only problem was it was a daylight today, bright sunshine, no wind, and I was shooting into the sun all day. It was hard work, but...
So it could even have been bigger bag?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been a lot bigger bag. If we'd had a bit more wind, yeah, if there'd been a bit of wind and a bit of cloud, it would have been a good bag. Well, sorry, a better bag. There's nothing wrong with that. But no, so but that's my best day.
Yeah.
But
this is for you. This isn't just sport, although you obviously enjoy it. This is about crop protection.
It is. Yeah, it is. I love the job. I love the sport shooting pigeons, but it's like you say, it's a job to me. I've got to protect this rape. This time of year they're taking out the middle of the flowers, and it puts the crop so much farther behind. Like this part of the field, that part, the top half of the field is 18 inches, 2 foot tall, being flowered within the next 10 days. This won't flower for probably another 4 weeks, 5 weeks before this flowers. So that's going to be
that's purely down to where the pigeons have been feeding.
Yeah, pigeons, and there's rabbits hammered it a bit, but mainly pigeons.
Stepping into Andy's hide is like stepping into his office. All he's focused on are the birds. He never stops moving, always looking for that next opportunity. The board is there to stop him from wearing a furrow in the floor of the hide. Hey, have you always been a mad keen pigeon shooter?
Always. Yeah, always. I love pigeon shooting. There's never two birds the same, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Because you used to shoot competitive clays, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to shoot clays for several years, and then the kids come along and it works out a bit expensive, so I'll give that up and just did more and more pigeon shooting. So
yeah.
Coming on the right.
Many pigeon shooters advise changing tactics if things aren't going to plan. Andy is no different. First he changes the choke on his gun and then the pattern of decoys. Again, everything is done at high speed. You get the feeling that every second counts.
They seem to be shying off a bit, so just having a bit of a change around with the pattern. We've taken the flappers in, started up the whirly back nearer the wood. Just see if that works. The problem is if you leave it, if they're not coming and you leave it, there's no point in leaving it if they're not coming. You just keep trying things to see if you can get them to come into the pattern. There's quite a few birds here, they're not coming, they're not playing ball really, so we just change the pattern around and see if that works. Just have one whirly going, bring the flappers in. If it don't work, we have another change around in a minute, so just see how it goes.
Pigeon shooting can be quite a sociable affair, but Andy doesn't eat or sit while shooting. And if for some strange reason he did need to take 5, he has a very special box to park on, a recycled human organ transit box. And if anyone else uses anything that's as weird and wonderful as this, then please do let us know. Another of Andy's tips for getting your position right is to have a look at what the birds are feeding on. The rape is on the way out, and these birds taken earlier have empty crops, but white clover and spring drillings are also on the menu. As the sun gets lower in the sky, we leave Andy to it. It's been hard work with very few birds being enticed into the decoys, so there have been some very impressive high shots, and he and Gary have managed a bag of over 150 birds.
Yeah.